getting things set it up. What do we...
So I'm going over these lists, and what are your first impressions? Do you think any of them have a significant advantage over the other person based on the decks they're bringing? You have a Alana's Heel Haven with Seraph from DinoT.
Yep.
He's also has a Purgatory Forest tech. Stolz is running a mid-range sword, while he's also packing a Purgatory Forest. I wish we could bring up like the deck lists up and put them on the stream, like on one side for Stolz, give his deck list, and you know, just put them on the side.
In a bit after this match, we can most certainly do that. At the moment, I'm not even prepared to set those up, but right now, what's interesting, it's just that he runs a standard mid-range for Stolz. Interesting here is that he plays Vanguard usually, and a little bit more Swarm since he runs Oathless Knights.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with the new sword lists that people are starting to run, but he seems to be playing a lot of the old cards that I haven't seen in a while, like Fencer and White General.
As for his Forest, he runs 2 Lisa, and this is supposed to be, I believe, a pure PTP. Yes, this is pure PTP. Though there isn't really much difference in this one either that he's running, except that he runs only 1 Crystalia Tia, in which they usually run 2, right? And then we have DinoT running a standard Elena Seraph with Rabbit Healer. Yep, it's also pretty standard. Themistocracy. Right now, I think DinoT might have an advantage based on between the two deck lists that they're running.
Yeah, was my voice not coming through the entire time?
No. Yes and no.
Shit.
Yeah. Were you talking earlier? Some technical difficulties.
Richie, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Better. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and start with this match. And the match is just going to start now between the two. So we have both of them playing both their fairies right now. Seems like they're both PTPs as well. He's also choosing both the Nature Guidance, Alter Fate, and Ancient Elf. He did manage to switch over from the Alter Fate and got himself a Bangringer Angel, Nature Guidance back to his hand as well.
Yo, were you not able to hear me the entire time?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. Oh jeez, I had to take off my headphones and everything.
Yeah.
So, we're starting off with the Forest Mirror?
Yep, we're starting off with the Forest Mirror right now. Ooh, he drew into a altered, well, Will of the Forest, but he also has Alter Fate ready, so that's not too bad. He can definitely Elf Child here and just end turn, or Bellringer, but he might bring it back into his hand.
There's merit to bouncing it.
Yep. Nature Guidance, maybe?
Generally, if it's like really early on, you want to do Nature's Guidance for value, and also he wants to be looking for Fairy Generation. When he chooses not to Guidance here, it means it's gonna take even longer for him to get to a good Altered Fate hand if he doesn't find the Fairy Generation soon.
Yep.
It's a decent enough Ancient Elf this turn though.
Yep. What did he play turn 3? And just Alter Fate? Yeah. That makes him at 10 and 0 Shadow right now.
Looks like he has a double Sylvan or something. Nope.
Roach.
So, whose point of view are we in? Stolz?
Stolz.
Yeah.
Right now.
He's given a very awkward turn 4 because he doesn't have a good evolve play, he doesn't have a good board developing play, and you might even be tempted to Altered Fate right now, because this hand is very reactive and it doesn't do anything if DinoT doesn't want to play cards. If you look at the last few turns, he's actually been floating significant amount of mana, just because he hasn't had anything proactive to do with his hand. And he's gonna get punished for it because DinoT has gotten his cycle much earlier than Stolz has. That Nature's Guidance is still sitting in his hand. Have you played this mirror much
I'm not.
the past few days?
No. Even though I started playing PTP Forest, I'm not well versed at it. I'd rather tempo tempo than PTP. All I know is that you just get a lot of errors in here and play Alter Fate. And if you have Path to Purgatory pretty early on, it's also pretty bad for you too. So, seemingly we see the first one out of, what, 3? He hasn't played Alter Fate yet, so it might be possibly ideal to use it now. Yeah.
I think it's too little too late. You should have dumped the first hand because DinoT had no intention of ever playing for board. He just saw him cycling over and over again. And he's drawn into another hand that I believe he's around 10 shadows right now, and doesn't look like he's gonna be as lucky with his Altered Fate cycling. Both of them are sitting on full evolve orbs, simply because Purgatory in the mirror doesn't necessarily need to fight for board at all, if ever.
Freaking Bellringer's still here since turn 3. It's still not dead yet.
Yeah, he's finally had the option to sack his own Bellringer to finally get the draw that he wants. And it's probably correct to do so right now, before you think about any other play this turn. Yep.
But no Alter Fate.
Yeah, there's all that Fairy Generation he wanted in the early game, but not at an opportune time.
Yeah. DinoT right now has a pretty close chance of getting his first PTP. And that's usually how it is. It's a race to PTP. And Stolz isn't getting there yet.
Actually, the matchup is a little more... It's very draw dependent on what your game plan is, because you have so many different win conditions. I've seen PTP builds that can just swarm the board with like Tias and Cynthias.
Yeah.
And then there's different game plans for it.
I've seen some that are more aggressive when they play against another PTP. They would...
It's not that the deck is built aggressively, it's just that the deck lends itself to being able to play it aggressively or otherwise.
For instance, if Stolz had gone with a larger Ancient Elf or something, like we could be looking at a different game, because then DinoT would have been forced to spend resources on the board instead of cycling through his deck. As it stands, DinoT's like 5 shadows off or something from his PTP, and there's no significant life pressure on him, so he can take it as slow as he wants. If he does have the PTP in his hand, I'd expect to see him start to spend his evolves just to get rid of like little chips of damage that might get through. He's opted to overdraw himself actually to try to get extra shadow.
That's the right move. He's close to it, so I don't see why not.
Yep. So with that play, you could imagine that there's a path in his hand right now, because you wouldn't want to do that if you didn't have a path, because there's a potential of burning a path.
Oh, he might play Glimmering just to try to see if he can get
he must play Glimmering right now. His hand is...
It's
it's still not giving him what he wants.
Both of the Alter Fate bottom 20.
Unfortunately for him, he also has to evolve into the 5/5 instead of going face, which puts him even further behind on any play he wants to make on like rushing DinoT down. If DinoT does go for a full PTP turn without developing a board, Stolz can try to build a board behind Lisa, assuming he's not dead, to double PTP, which he is. In that case, the only play Stolz has available to him is the Fairy Beast Lisa, and then hope for a Rhinoceroach draw and something surviving to the next turn. Technically it's not over, but it's probably over. In this situation, you probably also want to evolve one of the creatures on board, because you're not getting an evolve next turn. Or you're not getting that evolve next turn. And you're trying to maximize damage. Yeah, it's going for it.
Playing that Lisa was actually pretty good for him. He doesn't have any shield to back that up, so he has to get rid of it. Or at least get rid of the Lisa so it doesn't get put back into the hand.
No, the Ancient Elf's just gonna lock the game away. Alright.
Oh.
I think that's... Oh no, that's just a kill.
Yep.
So DinoT's up 1-0.
That's quite unfortunate. The caster curse is real. Oh no.
No, yeah, his early game was very he was given
meh.
the responsive cards that you really want to see versus aggro decks and tempo decks, which, by the way, neither of DinoT's decks are aggro. They're both very mid-late oriented. Yep. And your first instinct in this situation when you see DinoT just like Altered Fate is you want to ditch the responsive cards, because DinoT's game plan at that point is not to develop a board that you need to answer with Will of the Forest or anything.
Yep.
So.
Now we're on to the second round. So we're going to see still using the same forest versus Haven, and this is Alana / Seraph versus PTP. I don't know about this matchup quite well. I don't see this quite often. But I would still believe PTP would still have the upper hand on this, right? Or is it really
My
50-50?
impression is like a 55-45 for the Alana's Seraph. Simply because the Seraph as a win condition is much more... It's much more like decisive than PTP, because you can have a PTP on the board and still not win until 3 turns later, but Alana's, like, it promises defeat in almost the turn after it's played.
Nice Black in Scripture. He didn't play anything on turn 1 too. I wonder why he didn't just play the Sacred Plea earlier.
He probably top decked it or something. He didn't have it.
I didn't see the position. I thought I slided like right over here. He might play the Rhinoceros. No wait, he doesn't have
guidance for 1.
minus, yeah. Just to get a draw and start doing something.
Yeah, his hand is once again very responsive, and we know what Alana's Haven is going to do. It's not play cards until turn 5-ish when the Radiance Angel comes down.
Yeah. Honestly, I think yeah, he was gonna enter and there's no need to anyways. He's probably gonna save those Rhinoceros and Nature Guidance for the final kill. He might need to.
One of his countdown reductions on Hollow Dogma. It makes sense if he has Radiance Angel in his hand, because he's not gonna have the time to play the Dogma next turn if he wants to play the Radiance Angel like on turn 5. Not enough mana to do it, so. Generally, you don't want to be casting a Hollowed on a 2-count Sacred Plea anyways, because it's gonna tick in 2 turns. He probably doesn't have a good play. His hand's... I'd imagine his hand has like a... probably some Rabbit Healers, maybe a Seraph. Maybe. Damn. I wish we could see the opponent's hands.
Soon. Trademark.
Yeah. He's going for the Roach now.
And then Nature Guidance.
Yep.
I would start anyways because of how dead his hand is looking right now.
There's the Radiance Angel. Yep. Actually, I'm gonna look over DinoT's deck list again. If you have a Seraph in hand, generally you don't want to be tossing away countdown reductions unless you have multiples in your hand. So I think DinoT's hand is actually
just as dead.
A Healing Prayer, a Dogma, probably a Themis as well. He would have played Prism Priest. There could be Rabbit Healers and anything else he would have played. So yeah.
Would he evolve that Elf Child to push for 3?
I'd imagine so. There's nothing really you can do with the evolves in this situation.
He didn't though.
No, he didn't.
Nope, pretty so casual. Alright,
That's
so
alright.
that's not too bad. Which means he can actually evolve his Ancient Elf with the fairies at hand. Ooh.
Hopefully Stolz can like mount some pressure, because yeah, it's only 2 turns away from the dreaded Seraph turn.
Stolz still trying to chip away some life points.
Oh, that's very unfortunate.
Yeah,
The
second.
Ancient Elf was left at a health total of 3 and it just gets scriptured.
Feels bad.
Yeah.
He had that for a while too.
DinoT's hand didn't have an Alana's in it, otherwise he would have played it.
Yeah.
He probably... I'd imagine his hand is actually Seraph with Countdown, so I think this game's done. It's probably done.
And another heal with
Yep.
a Radiant Angel.
He's even spending the Evolve here because he's not going to be playing a minion next turn if he's playing Seraph, so he might as well just Evolve now. It's the interesting thing about Alana's Haven. Like, their list is very defined.
Yep.
And there's very few cards, and you could imagine what's in somebody's hand based on like what they played. If they're not playing Alana's, their hand is probably Seraph with Countdown. A lot of the cards are, you must play this when it's available to you. Like Prism Priest, Beast Call, Sacred Plea, Radiance Angel, like those are cards you just play whenever you can.
And then save the rest of the countdowns for the Seraph. Yeah, he's gonna Nature Guidance and bring it back. But I feel like at this point, I don't know. I
think he wants to evolve here as well, because he has to kill DinoT next turn. Yeah, there's the evolve.
Push for 6 damage here. That's a nice fairy circle.
In all, we're looking at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5.
No, he's
like
that's not
9
enough.
Damage, I think.
Yeah.
There's no bounce, so that's not a kill. But
I felt like
could, I guess.
if he was gonna consistently heal, I would have kept like at least 2 Nature Guidance and try to push in towards turn 8. So this is, yeah, this is gonna be 6, 7, 8 damage with the Evo on the Roach. Do you think that if he had kept at least 2, he might have pushed for lethal?
If he had what?
2 Nature Guidance.
Remember, he cycled the first Nature's Guidance away. I actually think he might have been able to kill him if he had saved the first Nature's Guidance. That might have done it.
I would think so too.
I don't recall what the Nature's Guidance did for his draws. Like it was possible that he never would have been able to draw into his. Oh wait, I don't think he's dead.
Oh.
Okay.
Well,
so
he can do 2. That's a healing prayer. He can do 2 of the
unless
dogmas.
DinoT is BMing. No, he's not BMing. Okay.
No.
Still got 1 turn left. There's no draw that actually wins him the game, so it's over.
Yep.
And DinoT goes up 2-0.
A little bit unfortunate that he drew pretty much dead for 2 rounds in a row.
It's very hard to draw a proactive hand against combo.
Yeah.
As with the Stolz' list, the only proactive plays I can think of are Large Fairy Swarm plus Lisa, which I guess was the only thing he had available to him. The other thing is he needed a big Ancient Elf, and those kind of hands are kind of hard to get unless you get early Fairy Generation along with an Ancient Elf. Yeah, his Purgatory just wasn't good in the mirror, nor was it good against Alana's. Generally, the Purgatory lists that do well against Alana's includes Cynthia. They need proactive plays.
Alright, so this moves him to the next bracket and it puts Stolz. I see DinoT won the first round as Ursa, And then DinoT won with Haven versus Orisa. Done. So
I'm
now
trying to see if I can get my headphone to work again. So give me a sec.
it's working now.
That's my webcam.
Oh. Alright, so we have Goms and we have Tornus still going on here. Their matches are still ongoing. We have Dodo. Actually, I could probably switch it over. Right now we have, let's see. Oops. This is probably better. There we go.
Is it working?
Yeah, it's working now.
Okay.
So we have Tornus and Goms and Gengar still going at it, and we have Stolz and Dodo player going in. Let's see. And no word from anything else. Oh, never mind. They updated. Now we're waiting on Tornus.
Is that our next match? The Tornus versus Gengar?
No, that's Sulcer.
Oh.
Sulcer, Tornus and Sulcer are still battling. They're 1-1 right now. We have DinoT and Goms in the round 2, but we'll be watching a round from round 1, and then we'll start with round 2. So Gengar and Stolz, but we're gonna be watching Dodo, Dodo player, and whoever is the losers of C3, which is between Tornus and Sulcer. And Sulcer is for those of you who don't know him, he's a Pokemon 2014 champion, and he is now playing Shadowverse competitively.